I'm just reading one. I'm just reading one poem. It's called Mercy. It happens on a school day, a school night, right after school, on a bridge near the concert hall, in the gas station parking lot, near the train tracks, in her bedroom, in her father's bed, out back, at her best friend's house, in her bed, on her pillow, against her neck. It happens under the bleachers or in a field or after the party in the dark night, swirling around the Maryville, the Steubenville, the Oakland, the Charlottesville. Landscape is cold enough that she can feel the warning of winter in her bones coming up in bumps along the edges of her arms, the territory of her skin, her territory, her body losing warmth. She doesn't have a coat. She's in jeans, a nightgown, a prom dress, knee socks, Keds, with a cell phone, no keys. Her blonde hair, her black hair, her very thin strands of pale hair that soak in her mouth when she's sleeping, her thick ponytail, her knotted curls. That morning, she kissed her mother on the cheek reluctantly, didn't want to get too mushy or mess up her lip gloss. That afternoon, she had plans to go shopping. She was out on a date. She was hoping to get laid. She was ready for high school. She was scared of the lightning outside and was looking for comfort. She was desperate for attention because she was 5 and no one paid attention. She has a big family. She is a foster child. Her father is a mayor. She was adopted and no one ever lets her forget it. She is beloved. Someone must love her. We want to believe. We pray for mercy as if God and the angels are holding out on us. They have the coordinates of her location. They know the right button to push to make miracles happen. Get snappy with it. We don't care to learn any lessons for window options to this particular kind of closed, battened down door. Please open. She is innocent. We are innocent. When she was born, she was without sin, and we beg for you to give in and let them find her. When they find her, when they find her body, when they find out, when there is no trace and the news gets tired, or the journalists stay rabid, or the phone rings every day or never, with tips, with bad tips, with the right tips, when the stranger sees her face in the window behind the white linen burqa, when the hikers take a moment to remember what she looks like there on the mountain, and they call, when a neighbor makes the call, when a dog smells something, when the search is never over, when the story gets questioned, when the memories come up like weeds into her storyline and she tries to yank them out by their roots and they only keep growing and choking, when arrests are made, when charges are dropped. When charges are dropped and she is dropped from the cheerleading squad, when she cannot move on, when she moves on, when she cannot move any longer, when she does not move, when the whole country is moved, when no one is moved to do anything because she is really a he, and who knows, he probably just ran away. Don't they just do that kind of thing? When people think she asked for it, when people have no idea what he does to her, what he did to her, what he will do to her when they look past and through and away. When they think they care, but they are just high on scandal and fascinated by other people's suffering. Who among us is not suffering? Suffer the little children and a little bit addicted. The Lord is the great I am, and he is with her, I say to myself, or has he abandoned her? How can God let it happen and happen and happen again? It's an old question, but she is just 11. She is just 16, 20, 5. She is my friend's niece. She is my best friend. She is someone I should have met, a girl on the TV screen. She is my mother, a headline in the paper. She is their daughter. She is our child, our sister, ours. God is the great I am, but what are we? The little I ams, the little lambs, the lost sheep, the wolves dressed up for hunting season, which is all the time. Which one are you? Both? Little Red Riding Hood sneaks into the woods and she loves flowers. And what happened to my grandfather, that dad, that couple, that loser, that man, that football player and his friends, those kids? What happens when they see her? What is it in them that they are predators? Boys will be boys. I don't believe it. I don't believe that my son is bred to destroy, that my daughter is deserving of this because she is not a boy. My daughter. I watch their faces, I hear their names, even when I don't want to. Alexis, Sage, Morgan, Elizabeth, Helen, Katie, Mary. My daughter, the deep grief, the fierce fear, the waiting, the craze seething, the rage, the nightmares, the lack of relief or undoing, learning to tie a knot or not, pacing, a race in place, the trace steps, the retrace steps, the belief that steps can be taken, measures, we can measure this. He measures our days, the birds in the field. We can find a way. We can find her. We can find her. Hope and desperation. When the phone doesn't ring, when she doesn't come home, when she comes home bleeding, when she never comes, my ears are ringing. Where are you? I am screaming to her into the void of unknowing where God is supposed to be, clouded, as silent as a forest is silent, going about its business of birds and snakes and skunks and deer feeding on the ground cover each other and not speaking about where my girl is, where her body is hiding. All those movies with the magical mice rescuing the girl, but in real life, they are harmless and I am helpless and the needles prick and the curses stick and the enemy is the one who shows up on his horse in his van at the bedside table on the side of the road. He goes for her heart. He seals the deal. He makes his mark. He steals the base. He does his duty. He makes a stab in the dark. He forces the issue. He nails the case. He takes the cake. He dominates the field. He stakes his ground. He pounds out the win. He gets the girl. I sit in my car, waiting, radio off, rain slicing air. I am weeping for my own daughter, whose sweetness is so singular, so very much her. How can I keep her, empower her, or tower her? My bones ache, their stories, their real life bodies breaking under the weight of what happens to them, to the girls, to us, what happens to our girls. Lolita squishes her eyes at the bright sky. Next week, 11 months, next month, a whole year, he's been gone. She counts. They all count. Each parent counts their children's days, the hours they sleep, the weeks till they arrive, the days they go not wetting the bed, the years they turn more years and leave, the constant counting of their lives, as if time will amount to something permanent if we just keep track, as if knowing the number of their days will keep them safe. And at some point, won't it be too long for her to be gone? Elizabeth looks up into the sunlight and eventually nods when they call her name. A farmer trips on Morgan's femur. Helen escapes in her mind only. A zipline flight. Katie makes it back to her hotel room. Mary learns to say no and kick and fight. Or we don't know and we go through the motions. We keep on moving through our days in the deliberate shrugging away of what else am I going to do? All of this wretchedness and the maddening circling in the sky that is always coiling closer to the decay at the center where we wait under veils and hats and the swaying flags and poster board displays, help wanted, wanted signs, the unwanted camera, the oh so desired media presence. It is all darkness and madness, the dissolution of all things except the rash panic that something could have been done. With our awful hunger pangs of love, please God, feed us in this hour of need with the precious gift of understanding that will make something of this grief, of this, her disappearance, her abduction, her death, her rape, her precious life, every minute of it, and make it okay that nothing ever is or will be. Have mercy, someone, anyone, you, because she's crossing the bridge, laying her head down to sleep. She's crossing her legs. She's leaving the store. It's happening. The end.